Hello there everyone, and welcome to the next in the series of Excel tutorials that I'm recording from my blog exclusively at nicholasperkins.com and also on my YouTube channel SuperNico79. So welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the if function of Excel. I'm going to try and be brief today because there's a lot I could cover, and I'm going to just brush over it and show you some very simple examples of how to use the if function. So the if function will allow you to test whether something is true or false, and if it is true, you can provide one calculation or one value, and if it's false, it'll provide another value. You can test lots of things. You can test whether A equals B. You can test if A is greater than B. You might want to test if A and B equals something. You can do a lot of complex expressions with this. I won't go too deeply into that. I'll just focus on the function today. So we've got an outstanding debt report here with the due date. I can't write, of the 31st of August 2009, and each of the regions obviously has a debt of a certain date, some older than others, and it shows you the number of days the debt's been outstanding. We're using a very simple formula. We're subtracting the oldest debt date from the due date of the report, which is generally what you want to see in this sort of situation. And we've got 95 days, 161 days, and 0 days, and it goes on and on. Now, what happens if one of your areas has no debts? You could just put the 31st of August and there's no days outstanding. That would seem fine. But it still looks like they've got some debts outstanding. So instead, you decide, well, I'm going to blank it. I'll blank a couple of them. But look, you don't get 0. You don't get what you really want. You get 40,056. Now that's the Excel serial date for the 31st of August. That's how date calculations work, because it's all stored as a number, and it's subtracting nothing from that date, which is 40,056, so you get 40,056. That's no good. So look, I'll just go in and I'll change it, hey? I'll put not applicable and not applicable, and that's fine. The report looks great. I can center that, no problem at all. But next month, 30th of September, we go back in and they go, oh, well, we've got another debt outstanding now. It was from the 28th of the 9th. Oh, no, the formula doesn't work. Oh, that's right, I changed it. Now I've got to go remember what the formula was and put it all back in. Well, this is the perfect situation for an if statement, and I'll show you how. I'm just going to back out with some undo, and we're back to this situation. Now I'm just going to take that away again. It gives us a cell to work on, and we're just going to use the if formula. So it's if with an open bracket, and the first argument is the logical test. So this is where you test if something equals something, or is greater than, or less than, or whatever you want to test. So today we want to test whether this cell here, which is B8, equals blank. So what I'll do is I'll just do B8 equals two double quotes. So that'll test whether it's blank or not. There's some other ways you can use functions to do that, but I'm not going to go into that again today. You can look that up yourself in the Excel help file. So we've put a comma, and now we're into the second argument, which is the value if true. So in this case, if B8 equals nothing or blank, I want it to say no debts. Actually, no, I'm going to have not applicable as per before. Okay, and I've put it in quotation marks because we're entering a formula, so strings need to be in quotation marks. So the next argument after pressing a comma is value if false. That's very simple. It's exactly what we had before as our formula, so I'm not going to change it. That's why I just edited the line without deleting it out. Close the bracket to end the formula, press enter, and now, despite the fact that we've got a blank, it says not A, NA. So I can center it. Actually, I'll center them all because it will center them all. Actually, no, right align it. I'm very confused today. So now, if I put a date in, so let's say we've got one from the 27th of July or 28th of July, 34 days outstanding, not a problem. And if we leave it blank, we still get not applicable. Now, it's giving me an error, which is the inconsistent formula error, because I haven't copied and pasted this up and down. So I'll just quickly do that by dragging that from there and dragging that down there. You should hopefully have all seen that before. And now we have a very workable report, so that if we have some blank fields, we'll get not applicable. If we go back in again, we can put some dates in and they'll still work. That's the very simple way how if function works. You can nest up to 7 if statements in 2003 Excel, and you can nest up to 64 if statements in 2007. If nesting doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry, I'll go into that in a future tutorial. Anyway, that's it for now. nicholasperkins.com is the blog if you want to leave a comment, ask any questions, or send me an email. But until next time, I'll see you later.